What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. All right, moving on to the MVP ladder. So for those of you guys who missed it last week, we had Joel Embiid at number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo at number 2, Tyrese Haliburton at number 3, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at number 4, Luka Doncic at number 5, Nikola Jokic at number 6, De'Aaron Fox at number 7, Jayson Tatum at number 8, LeBron James at number 9, and Kevin Durant at number 10. And like I said, I'm going to be doing this every Friday. Primarily, we're not going to do deep dives into every single player, but we're going to do mainly just descriptions of why I have made changes to the rankings. So, two guys are dropping out of the list this week. First is LeBron. He averaged 24, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists this week, but they went 0-3 in the 3 games that LeBron played. He's still been pretty good on offense, although his jumper is cooled off. But my main issue with LeBron right now is just outside of the in-season tournament, he just hasn't given a shit about playing any defense. And we've talked a lot about this, but that low man responsibility is vitally important in any NBA defense, but it's especially important in this Laker defense that's doing so much blitzing and pick and roll. You just need a guy there that's really, really active, that's trying to make plays. And we've seen what it looks like when like Tyrese Haliburton didn't have a single turnover during the in-season tournament until suddenly LeBron blows up a play as a low man in pick and roll. Like, he is capable of being so devastating there. Totally understand, for the record, like, he's old. Got to find a way to conserve energy somewhere. LeBron's conserving energy on defense right now. I don't think he sees the regular season as that important. Totally fine, but the purpose of this list is to draw attention to players who are playing well within the confines of the regular season. So as of right now, I'm dropping LeBron off the list. Kevin Durant is the other guy I'm dropping off. His numbers are still super good. 32 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, still super efficient. But the Suns are in a free fall. They can't score the basketball. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They've been a bottom 5 offense in that span. And the biggest issues that I'm noticing are, one, they're running a ton of ISOs without being efficient with them. They run the 8th most ISOs in the league, except for everyone else above them is like right around a point per possession or more. And the Suns are down at 0.90 points per ISO. So they're running a lot of ISOs and they're not getting anything out of them relative to the rest of the league. They're also not generating enough threes. They're only generating 29 threes per game over this 10-game stretch, which is dead last in the NBA, and they never get out in transition. They get just 17 transition possessions per game, which ranks 28th in the NBA. So for right now, based on team success, dropping Kevin Durant off the list. All right, this week's MVP rankings for Hoops Tonight. Number 10, Jayson Tatum. He averaged 23, 7, and 5 last week. His scoring consistency has taken a hit. He scored 30 plus 5 times in his first 6 games, but he's done it just 5 times total in the last 20 games. And I was really disappointed in his inability to regain control of that Warriors game as things were going down the stretch. I know his ankle was tweaked early in the game, but I thought he had advantages, and I didn't think he exploited them as well as he could have. Number 9, Jalen Brunson, our first newcomer on the list this season. Last 10 games, Jalen Brunson, 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists, 49% from the field and 44% from 3. And the Knicks are now a top 10 offense. They are 16-11, and they have the 9th best record in basketball. Jalen is hooping his ass off. He's at number 9 in our MVP rankings. Number 8, Tyrese Haliburton drops all the way down. I think he was in 3rd last week. 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 12 assists. Really cooled off shooting the basketball everywhere, really, right now. 37% from the field. He's in the 20s from 3. Pacers went 1-4. Just like the Lakers, the Pacers have completely fallen apart since the in-season tournament. A clear indicator that there's a real emotional letdown after playing those super high-stakes games and then going into regular season basketball there. Number 7, another newcomer this week, Steph Curry. After straight up stealing the Celtics game with late game shot making, the Warriors are now 13-12 when Steph Curry plays, despite just a ridiculous amount of issues between main core players not playing well, between Draymond Green removing himself from the team with poor decision making, to a lot of young guys in the lineup. There's just a boatload of things going wrong with this team, and yet they've still been above 500 in a really difficult league on a really tough schedule because Steph Curry is the same old Steph Curry. 28 points per game on 65% true shooting. He's just floating things well enough for the Warriors to be able to survive until they can make a move to upgrade the roster. Number 6, Luka Doncic, 35, 11, and 9 in the last week, but the Mavs went 1 and 2, so I dropped him down a little bit. De'Aaron Fox, 30 at number 5. De'Aaron Fox, 30 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists per game in the last week, and the Kings went 2 and 1. Moved him up to number 5. Number 4, Nikola Jokic, 21, 10, and 8 in the last week. And the Nuggets went 2 and 1, with that one loss being the buzzer loss to the Thunder. The Toronto win the other night felt like a get-right game for Nikola Jokic. He went cold from 3 there for a little while. Remember, I was complaining about that, and I was specifically complaining about him not taking them anymore, which was frustrating. 3 for 5 against Toronto. I just think that that's a very, very important shot for Jokic to be considered the best player in the world. It's all of the things put together that makes, like, without that 3-point shot, he goes from being the most inevitable, unstoppable offensive player in the league to something less than that. And it's just an important element. I thought that was encouraging against Toronto. He had 31 points as well. Nikola Jokic up to number 4. Number 3, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists last week. The Thunder went 3-0, hits the game winner against Denver, hangs 31 on the red-hot Clippers that have been so good defensively lately. Just a great week for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I have him up at number 3. Number 2, Giannis. There was a weird game in there where he didn't play much that threw off his averages, but he still averaged 24, 12, and 8. Over the course of the last week, the Bucks went 4-0, so I moved him up to number 2. Actually, I think he was at number 2 last week. And then number 1, Joel Embiid, 42 points, 14 rebounds, and 4 assists in the last week. The Sixers go 3-1, lost to the Bulls, but the Bulls are playing really well, and they had just played the Sixers had just played a bunch of bad teams, which typically can kind of set your team up for some failure because you built some bad habits playing against bad teams, right? Here's the thing. For the Sixers fans and Embiid fans, because I had a lot of them complaining at me in the last 24 hours after our video yesterday. Do I hate the foul grifting? Yeah, I fucking despise it. But I don't blame Joel for that. I blame the league. And he's still been by far the best regular season player in the league this year. I've had him number 1 in my MVP list both weeks. I'm a huge believer in what Embiid is capable of. Everything about his foul grifting is a take about the NBA. It has nothing to do with Joel Embiid.